36, and we will go ahead and get going with the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission. City Clerk, would you please conduct roll call?
Commissioner Soto, absent. Commissioner Dolan.
Here.
Commissioner Kucharski.
Here.
Commissioner Kalia. Commissioner Barraza. Absent. Commissioner Singh. Absent. Commissioner Miller. Absent. Vice Chair Ward.
Here.
And Chair McCoy.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I have a question, Angela. I know that sometimes some of our commissioners may come in a little late, so do we have to do the motion to excuse the absence now, or do we do it towards the end?
You can do it now, and then we would just reflect on the minutes if a commissioner came in after roll call has been completed.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner, I have to do them individually, correct? Or can I group them? Individually? Okay. Commissioner Singh is absent from today's meeting. Is there a motion to excuse the absence?
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passed. Commissioner Miller is absent from today's meeting. Is there a motion to excuse the absence?
I will.
Thank you, Commissioner
Second.
Collier. Thank you, Commissioner Dolan. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Commissioner Soto is absent from today's meeting. Is there a motion to excuse the absence? Or is this the time where I say? Okay, so Commissioner Soto has resigned from her position as one of the commissioners for the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission. Her resignation is effective today, and she expressed how she really enjoyed serving with all of us, but due to a change in her availability, she will no longer be able to be on this commission with us. So we're going to miss Commissioner Soto and wish her the best. And now we're going to move on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
What
Everyone,
about
please
Commissioner
stand.
Barraza?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him. He's always here.
Just saying.
Commissioner Barraza is absent from today's meeting. Is there a motion to excuse his absence?
Motion from Rose.
Thank you, Commissioner Collier and Commissioner Dolan. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please stand? Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will now start with the approval of the agenda. City Clerk, are there any changes or proposed changes to today's agenda?
No, there are not.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Thank you, Commissioner Dolan. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Collier. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. This item is approved. We will now move on to minutes. Are there any changes or proposed changes to the minutes from February 24th, 2025, City Clerk?
No, there are not.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Thank you,
I'll
Vice Chair
second
Ward.
that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Dolan. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. This item is approved. We will now move on to subcommittee reports. This item is a discussion item for the commission and no public comments will be taken related to this item. Does the San Joaquin River Parkway Subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to the commission?
Madam Chair, what about the approval of the regular minutes, February 24th?
We just passed that.
Oh, I thought that was on 5. Got it.
Got it. Sorry.
It's okay. San Joaquin River Parkway Subcommittee, do you have an update?
Yes, sure. Um, So the subcommittee visited the parkway with the San Joaquin River Conservancy and the Parkway Trust, the San Joaquin River Parkway Trust. I'm trying to remember all the words and all the names. The three of us visited with those two organizations, and they gave us a tour, and we did make some motions in the fall. And then there were three other properties that the subcommittee felt strongly we should look at supporting getting open access to. And those were the Lanes property, the Genco River Extension property, and the Caglia property. And then they're all adjacent to each other. Since then, the San Joaquin River Conservancy met with the city of Fresno, and they agreed to, they made an agreement. I don't know exactly what the agreement entailed, but that the city would take over maintenance of two of those properties so that the Conservancy could move forward with opening them to the public. So I don't know when that will happen, but instead of having to make, I guess, a recommendation here at this level, it already has moved forward with the city's support. So I'm thrilled about that. I think the Conservancy was thrilled about that as well. So we hope that those two properties will become open to the public sooner than later. And we can report on that, I guess, when we hear from the San Joaquin River Conservancy that that's official. As to the third property, that one is owned and managed by the nonprofit, the San Joaquin River Parkway and Trust. And I think our subcommittee will probably need to meet with the director there, Sharon Weaver, at some point, because she has expressed interest in Measure P funding to support opening that parcel or that area to the public as well. So there'll have to be a little bit more work meeting with Sharon. We'd hoped that she would be prepared today, but I think it was maybe a little bit more last minute. But there was also some questions about how that works as a nonprofit, and I wasn't sure how to proceed. But perhaps our subcommittee can work on that further, because they're written into the ordinance, but they're not necessarily government. They're nonprofit. So I wasn't sure if there was a provision for that or if we'd have to make one. I don't know how to proceed exactly as part of the subcommittee representing that, desire to move forward. So I wasn't sure who I should direct my question to either.
So you might want to direct it to the Parks
Okay.
Department or the staff of the Parks Department to be able to point you in the right direction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's my report for now, unless you have somewhere we could go from here. Thank you.
Commissioner Kotarski would be happy to get you some information, whether it's through a trade memo of some sort, to fully capture your question. I know some of that pertains to Public Works, so we'd be happy to get some information over to you shortly.
Is that information about how funding the nonprofit for
Oh, I'm sorry.
Measure P funding? Or
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Parkway. I'm sorry. I missed that second question.
Okay. I think there's a confusion of terms, too. That usually happens when we talk about these. Parkway, for me, is all the properties from Friant to the 99 on both sides of the river. That's called the Parkway. Now, the Parkway has ownership from all different agencies, organizations. Some is actually owned by the city of Fresno. So the ordinance, for whatever reason, I don't know, I didn't write it, but it has the San Joaquin River Conservancy and the Parkway Trust written into it. And they're two owners on the Parkway. One of the owners is a nonprofit, and that's the Parkway Trust, the one that Sharon Weaver's the director of. I guess my question is, how do we get Measure P funding to that nonprofit if the city's not doing the work, or maybe the city should do the work. I don't know how that works. I don't know how to proceed, and I think that's been kind of a catching point for the Parkway Trust as well. And not knowing what the mechanism is with the ordinance to proceed with getting that property open to the public with Measure P funding.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I did speak to Director Mosier over the weekend about, opening up those areas and then kind of the long term. And I can work with City Attorney's Office, but it could look like from my first kind of attempt, maybe some sort of an MOU, maybe some sort of a type of an agreement, service agreement that we can work with Attorney's Office and get some more information back to you. But that's how I would envision something like that working, where dollars through Measure P would work through the nonprofit, similar to, I believe, and again, I'll work with the City Attorney's Office, similar to what we did with the Fresno Arts Council, something along the lines of that.
That's really helpful, thank you. So I guess our subcommittee will wait to hear from you. Is that how that'll go?
Yes, we'd be happy to follow back up with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Does the Cultural Arts Grant Subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to the commission?
Yes, thank you. So this is an exciting time for the Measure P Expanded Access to Arts and Culture Year 2 grants. There is a mandatory letter of intent process this year, and that opened last Friday, March 14th. And I wrote up a little summary. Please make the correction that letter of intent closes on Friday, April 4th at 11:59 p.m., so not the 5th, on the 4th. And passing the letter of intent process is required for any applicant to move forward and access the full grant application. So please tell everyone and anyone who might be interested in applying to this round of grant funding that they really should try to look at and work through the letter of intent process as soon as possible, because if they run into any issues, hopefully they can work with the Fresno Arts Council to see if those are things that can be addressed before the LOI process closes at midnight on Friday, April 4th. So last year, there were two, different types of kind of unfortunate outcomes. One was we, heard about applicants who weren't able to move forward through the process because they failed to upload, a mandatory exemption determination letter. And then there were a couple organizations that were selected to be recipients of grant awards, and they were not eligible to receive the funding at the time that grants were going to be distributed, so they ended up forfeiting their awards. So this letter of intent process is intended to kind of help applicants identify early on whether or not they are ready to move forward with the application, and if they are recommended to receive an award, that they're in a place that they can accept that funding. So Lilia from the Arts Council is here to help address other questions. But we just wanted to really emphasize that 3-week period to move through the pass-fail readiness to access the full application. It's open right now, and it closes on Friday, April 4th at 11:59 p.m. The application itself opens as soon as you pass through the letter of intent process. So for those who applied and passed last Friday, it opened on the 14th of March. And then the last day that you have available to you to finish the LOI process would be, April 4th at 11:59 p.m., and then you can access the application then on the 5th through June 6th. Friday, June 6th at 11:59 p.m. is when those applications will be closing. So there is a different education and outreach for the applicants, one that's happening now for those individuals and organizations that want to apply or find out more during this letter of intent period. There's going to be the general information session Tuesday, March 25th here at the Fresno City Hall in the council chambers from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And it will also be live streamed on CMAC. That meeting is open to the public. And the Arts Council does have a expanded access to arts and culture resource area of their website that has all these dates and all this information. And then there is going to be an open to the public grant writing workshop Monday, April 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Fresno City and County Historical Societies, the Archive on Kern, which is open to the public, but you're encouraged to register online through the Arts Council website. And then there will be additional technical assistance scheduled by the Arts Council, which is going to be open to those submitters of the letter of intent, and the links will be sent directly to them from the Arts Council. This is also the time period to apply to be a review panelist. So any member of the public who's interested in reviewing these applications, that application opened on Monday, March 3rd, and it will close at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, May 16th. And that is also an application that you would submit through the Arts Council website. And then that's enough, I think, dates and information for now. But Lily is here, so I think if any commissioners have additional questions and want to discuss kind of what this process is going to look like, what this new LOI period is, she can help answer those questions.
Are we able to share this little sheet out with our network of residents?
Yes, but you're going to want to fix that typo.
Okay, so can you email it to the commissioners so we'll be able to share it out, please?
I think I can't directly email the commissioners, but what I can do is I can fix the summary, email it to Sarah Gayton, and then she can send it to the commissioners' BCC so we don't violate the Brown Act.
Yes. Thank you. Perfect. All right. Any commissioners have any questions for Dr. Chavez before we move on? No questions. Thank you for being here. All right, we will now move on to city administration and park staff reports and comments. Does anyone from the administration have any reports or comments for the commission?
None this evening, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone from the park staff have any reports or comments for the commission?
Thank you, Chair. It's been a busy week in parks and with council. Just want to highlight some great things that happened last week at City Council. Council awarded the Roding Park Court project. If you all recall, that's Measure P, highest needs, about $1.2 million worth of funds going towards that. That'll include 2 multi-courts, futsal and basketball, 4 dedicated pickleball courts, 2 shade structures, and then benches and tables, drinking fountains, and ADA access around those northern courts. In addition to that action, they also took the action to approve a construction contract for Maxey and Nielsen playground improvements. Maxey will receive shade sails over the playground and ADA improvements. Nielsen will receive a replacement of their existing tot lot, new poured and played rubberized surfacing, shade, new benches and ADA path of travel improvements. And then this afternoon, or actually this morning, we were at Rotary East. This was the first dedicated pickleball courts that are going to be built here in the city of Fresno with the help of Measure P. About $1.2 million worth of that project there. 8 dedicated courts, 4 benches, and again, sports lighting that will complement those 8 courts. So busy few weeks here in the Parks Department, more to come, but again, just wanted to highlight the great work of the Commission and of the Parks Department and as a city as a whole. So with that, I conclude my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Aguirre, where are the shade structures in Roding going?
They are going between the 2 courts, so the existing tennis courts and then the northern courts. There'll be like a plaza there, so we'll have is it between or just, it's right around that area. We'll have a kind of a seating plaza for folks to enjoy watching pickleball or futsal or basketball or tennis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, it's good to see Nielsen get some TLC, much needed TLC. It sits right in a neighborhood that is highly utilizing that park. So good to see that, and good to see those pickleball courts go in. That sport is becoming very popular. Even when you're watching TV, you see stars playing pickleball or have a pickleball in their backyard. So it's good to see that we're adjusting and making way for that sport to grow. So we will now move on to unscheduled communication. Would any member of the public like to speak on any issues within the jurisdiction of this commission? You will have up to 3 minutes. If you would like to make a comment regarding any of the scheduled hearings, comments will be taken when each item is called. And I have William Edwards.
Hello.
Hi.
I just wanted to bring up the Melody Skate Park. I recently did like a little like poll or Instagram post for it, just to see if everyone was kind of feeling the same way I was about it. And I got up to like 50 comments on it with people wanting the same type of thing. But they had done revamped to a water feature on the left-hand side. They had revamped the basketball court on the right-hand side. And I feel like we got a little neglected in the middle. So we're just hoping to maybe find some funding to help that park in any way possible. Yeah, it's gotten like a couple tries at like being repaired, and every time it's kind of fallen short of happening in general. So I don't know if there's any like room for something like that.
Are you referring to the skate aspect of it?
I am, the
Is that-
skate park
yeah,
in the middle,
okay.
yes.
Right, so water feature, skate park, basketball courts,
Correct.
the other two have been updated?
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
skate park.
I believe the water feature was the newest update to that park.
Okay.
What place is, excuse me, what place is this?
This is the Melody Park. It's on Fowler and Shields. I continue?
Yeah, you can continue. You have
so,
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's just, I work with like a local board shop here. That's the one in Clovis, the bigger one. We do a lot of events out there and stuff. And I'd recently even seen in like, I know it's kind of not the same city, but in Lindsay, they had recently gotten a revamp on their park. It had similar ramps, but those park ramps seem to like fall short of like lasting a long time. So I thought maybe even investing in some like revamping as far as cement ramps in there instead of those ones, kind of like maybe possibly being able to sell them and then using that money to even put it towards cement concrete work on it. I feel like in the longevity of it would cause it to not cost so much money as far as repairs go, because I know repairing those ramps are hard. Even last time they tried to get like materials for them and they couldn't get them. So they end up just doing like this Bondo job to it that just like honestly ends up being more of a hazard for skateboarders than
You
just
have 30
removing
more
obstacles.
seconds.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I'm going to allow you 30 more seconds because your time is up.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, that would be probably it then. That's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to butcher this name up, and I don't want to. Fablai? Did I say it right? It's Fabian. Yeah. Okay. Your N looked like a H, so that's why I said
Sorry,
that.
my handwriting's pretty bad.
It's okay, mine is
But
too.
I just want to talk about the skate park too because I've been harmed there. Like the cracks in the ground. Like I broke my ankle once just by rolling around, and I didn't see it, and I just fell and it broke my ankle. And I just think having a better skate park would bring a better community because like there's kids back there like smoking and it like scares off the kids that are trying to skate and like they just hide in the corner. And I just think like a better skate park would bring a nicer skate park would bring a nicer community around.
Absolutely.
But I just he probably talked about it all. But I just think it just needs a new skate park, something new. You know, it's getting old and messed up and like it's just tearing us up too. But that's just it. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Do we have any more?
Must be you.
Yes, we have one online. Jade McPhee. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name's Jade McAfee. I'm a resident of District 5, and I'm also an employee at Mighty Community Advocacy, who I'm not representing today, but I did want to mention that because we are a recipient of some Measure P funds, which I think is relevant to my public comment today. I'm just reaching out because I attended a meeting at Dulce up front where the process, the RFP process and LOI process is outlined, which I think is great. I think it really streamlines the process. However, there were a couple of changes that I think really do make the process a lot less accessible to individual artists and community organizations doing really important work in key districts like my own. So one of the things is that they made it so that you have to have an NTEE that is designated as makes you an arts and culture organization. And so in districts like mine, District 5, districts like District 3 and 7, that means that where there's also less parks, there are also less arts and culture organizations. So this requirement now makes the application process so much less accessible to areas where we're already sort of not experiencing the same exposure to the arts as some of the other areas. And I know this came up last year around the time that we were awarding funds. And so I would just like to suggest that perhaps maybe there'd be a different structure, like so one that encourages collaboration, like requiring organizations who do not have that NTE designation to apply in conjunction with an artist in order to qualify, or requiring that there be some other way that encourages access and collaboration and makes those funds available to areas like mine that are going to be disproportionately and inequitably impacted by this shift that really does gatekeep specific neighborhoods where, and I really do feel like it undermines the cultural arts plan, which emphasizes that certain groups and demographics be targeted. And I also think that it's deeply unfair and unfortunate. And I'm hoping that there can be a way to make those adjustments, because I know that this process is still very much emergent. It's only the second time that this is happening. But I'm hopeful that maybe you can make considerations in regards to that, because it is something that I think is really important and has been really extremely discouraging to community. I myself am married to a full-time working artist, and it's crazy that, you know, they have not been able to access a fiscal sponsor. And I know many, many artists who are in a similar boat, but again, shifting the process so that there might be increased encouragement structurally from the Arts Council to collaborate would be really helpful, and maybe also address some of their concerns around the organizations who aren't centered on arts and culture to be able to apply. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are no other people in line.
Okay. Do we have any more cards?
We have one more.
Okay. You got it? Okay, I got it. Can I have Jamie Hernandez come up to the podium?
Good afternoon, beloved Parks Department. My name is Jaime Hernandez, and I'm also here in representation of my colleagues from the local skate community. And really, I think it's important to just emphasize the fact that Melody Skate Park on Shields and Fowler is very much in need of a much-needed sort of upscale. Just as Will has kind of mentioned previously, the fidelity of the park has really just not stood the test of time due to weathering and obviously mistreatment from some people in the skate community, but also external, people within the area not treating it correctly. But it's very much a essential environment in which people like Will and Prodigy Board Shop obviously have a variety of events for the community in which numerous people of different age groups are coming to this park, participating and just getting exposed to the recreational activity of skateboarding, right? And it's a little bit unfortunate that the fidelity of the actual park has very much lost, what it once was in terms of quality. Again, a lot of just the fabricated ramps have really just not the best quality whatsoever. When it rains, it gets just super slippery and just far more severe in terms of safety. Again, there's a little bit more homeless people in the area. Literally just a few blocks, you're in a more glamorous side of Clovis, but tremendously, you're just right at the borderline between Fresno and Clovis. And families, within the particular areas of the community that maybe want to expose their children to skateboarding have to be a little bit more precautious as well. So I just want to further emphasize everything that Will has mentioned in terms of getting funding for this environment, this area of town, right, that I think would be extremely beneficial for, again, just getting more kids there, really advocating for community as a whole, right, through this recreational activity in which we share. And to be a part of it, to, verbalize it and advocate it is actually a really awesome opportunity that, we have the, pleasure of being here and just chatting with you guys about. So thank you.
Thank you. Quick question. I know that it's a skate park, but sometimes you have BMX riders who may frequent the park. Is that a shared
Correct?
Correct.
Yes. And to be honest, it is very tight and crowd. Like, we don't have much space. We're always having to be conscious of the space allocated to perform a particular trick. The moment a BMX rider's there, the moment a scooter rider's there, you have to be more precautious in terms of like the time that you're taking to get to a particular obstacle. So that's something to keep note of as well. If it could be expanded, that'd be great.
Because you're sharing it, correct?
Exactly.
So you do allow the BMX riders there, but you just make sure that you have enough room for them as well as enough room for you guys.
Just like when you're going to the gym and somebody's using maybe the treadmill and you kind of have to wait your turn because somebody's using machine A, B, and C, right?
Yeah,
Pretty similar.
something similar. Romaine Park has a skate park, but it's a shared park with the skaters and the BMX riders. So as we were working on that, we learned a lot of new terminology, and we learned that you guys have to share and things like that. So I just wanted to know that for my own personal self, and then that way the commissioners can know as well that you guys are sharing it with BMX riders as well. So upgrades sounds like it's very imperative to that park in order for you guys to still be able to perform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay, I will go ahead and close unscheduled communication and move on to hearings. ID number 25-321, hearing to receive public input on expanded access to arts and culture grant program. Would any member of the public like to make a comment regarding this item? You will have up to 3 minutes for comment. Do we have anyone online?
There is no one online.
Okay, I will close public comment. Does any member of the commission have any questions or comments regarding this item? All right, we will move on to the next hearing. ID number 25-322, hearing to receive public input on allocations related to Measure P, updates to the Parks Master Plan and Cultural Arts Plan and annual Parks Department budget and capital improvement plans. Would any member of the public like to make a comment regarding this item? You have up to 3 minutes. I don't see anyone in the chamber. Anyone online?
There is no one online.
Okay, I will now close public comment. Does any member of the commission have any questions or comments regarding this item? All right, I think we might have beat our own record. It is 6:09. I would like to adjourn the meeting as always in the memory of Dr. Francine Apuda, who was a commissioner on this Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission and who is deeply missed. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your evening with your family.